So after a silent and slow night one of the 2023 NFL Draft, it starts to get busy for the San Francisco 49ers here on day two. They are equipped with 3 picks here on day 2. All in the third round, 99 overall, 101 overall, and 102 overall. Coming up on today's show, going to take a look at the top prospects available still heading into night 2 of the NFL Draft, and we'll also do a 49ers mock draft heading into the second and third round because we can't rule out the fact that San Francisco could trade up to round 2. Before we get started, though, please make sure you subscribe and join us live right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. We'll be live for the third round to see who the Niners pick, and we will be reacting to all of their selections. Scouting profiles, prospect breakdowns, draft grades, Super Chat giveaways, and Super Chat games. The games will be flowing. The knowledge will be flowing as well. It's Bang Bang Niner Gang all day. Subscribe and lock us in. Before we get started, today's show would not be possible if it wasn't for Rhone and the Commuter Collection. I'm wearing their Commuter shirt here for the faithful. 20% off your order at rhone.com/chat. Sports, promo code Chat Sports. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention. Rhone stepped up to the challenge. They knocked it out of the park like Barry Bonds into McCovey Cove back in the day. Rhone's Commuter Collection, the most comfortable, breathable, flexible set of products known to man, and there's a couple of reasons why that gets backed up. Rhone helps you get ready for literally any occasion. Breaking it down here on the 49ers Report Draft Weekend, night on the town with your homies, date night with the girl, your significant other, 18 holes of golf. Rhone's Commuter Collection offers the most comfortable pants, dress, shirts, polos, quarter zips. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Rhone Commuter Collection. And mobility is everything. That's why I absolutely adore and love their products. They have this comfortable 4-way stretch fabric that provides breathability and flexibility that you can conquer anything with. It's time to feel confident without the hassle. You know the motto here on the 49ers Report: look good, feel good, play good. With Rhone's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. It's that easy. Also, if you're feeling a little bit stinky, you won't. In the Rhone Commuter Collection, they have Gold Fusion anti-odor technology that'll have you smelling fresh and looking fresh and clean all day long. And on top of that, Rhone is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch the dry cleaner costs altogether. RHONE.com/chat sports. Promo code Chat Sports, 20% off your entire order. Let's go through all of the positions here for the top available players on the board for San Francisco heading into rounds 2 and 3. DeJuan Jones, offensive tackle at Ohio State. We know that the 49ers have a desperate need to get a right tackle at some point. At least that's my draft philosophy. Matthew Bergeron out of Syracuse, really good player. In a couple of my mocks, I really like Tyler Steen to San Francisco, Nick Saldiveri, Blake Freeland out of BYU, another name to watch out for. More on him coming up in just a few moments. If the Niners want to address interior offensive line, they can do so with a couple of these guys who might fall to them. Osiris Torrance, offensive guard out of Florida. Steve Avila out of TCU, very good player who's good out in space, getting out on those pull blocks. John Michael Schmitz out of Minnesota. And then Cody Malk, offensive guard out of North Dakota State. He might be missing some teeth. He's not missing a lot of game, and that hair, absolutely glorious. The 49ers, we also know, do prioritize cornerbacks. I think they're pretty set there with Charvarius Ward, and given the emergence of Diamador Lenore, they address slot corner in free agency with Isaiah Oliver. They really like Samuel Womack, who they drafted late this time last year out of Toledo. Joey Porter Jr., I think he goes off the board very early in the second round. Could he go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, whereas Potts played at 32? Keep an eye out for that. Clark Phillips out of Utah. Cam Smith out of South Carolina, very good player. DJ Turner, cornerback out of Michigan. To linebacker, there has been a lot of buzz from guys like Matt Mayoko that the 49ers could address linebacker here on day 2. Drew Sanders, a dog, used to play at Alabama, transferred to Arkansas. Woo Pig Sooie, Trizzy Trace already knows. Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. Deion Henley out of Washington State. And then Dorian Williams, athletic freak with terrific speed out of Tulane. The 49ers also have a need to get Talanoa Hufanga a running mate at safety. This is a deep safety class here. You could go J.L. Skinner a little bit later. My personal favorite of this grouping is Ji'Ayir Brown. Quan Martin out of Illinois, a solid player. His safety running mate, Sidney Brown, also a good player. Antonio Johnson, Brian Branch could get got early in the second round. Don't rule out wide receiver 3 for this football team either. A lot of really good ones who could be on the board. Josh Downs out of UNC, Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee, Tyler Scott out of Cincinnati, Cedric Tillman, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Keep an eye out for tight end as well. San Francisco could certainly go there. We know that Kyle Shanahan really likes running backs, and the last 2 years they've taken a running back in the third round. I hope that they don't go running back once again. Of the players here who I would like to San Francisco, Zach Evans, a really good player, used to play at TCU, transferred to Ole Miss. Scheme fit-wise could work given what Lane Kiffin likes to run with Ole Miss. Kendre Miller, Roschon Johnson, some other good players of note here for Roschon Johnson, met with San Francisco in the pre-draft process. A couple of really good quarterbacks are on the board as well. For the Niners, they might have some interest in Jake Haener, a Dorian Thompson-Robinson, maybe even a Clayton Tune. There's no way that Hendon Hooker will fall to the Niners. Will Levis, a surprise non-draftee on night 1 of the draft. Kickers, they are people too. Niners using maybe a 4th-round pick on a kicker. That wouldn't happen today. It would happen tomorrow. I don't think any kickers go on day 2. But Jake Moody, probably the best kicker in college football last year. He was perfect on PATs. Chad Ryland out of Maryland. Guy's got a lot of confidence. I like his leg as well. Jack Podlesny out of Georgia, and then Christopher Dunn out of NC State. These guys, more so options on day 3 that you can get 4, 5, 6, 7th round picks potentially. But the names and the positions that I'm keeping an eye out for here, it's a guy like Blake Freeland, the tackle out of BYU. Offensive tackle, I think, is of importance. Safety, linebacker, tight end. Those are the positions that San Francisco could address here on day 2. If you heard it here first, you already know. Who do you want the Niners to draft? Just drop me a name down below in the comment section. My last 49ers mock draft for day 2. I'm going Blake Freeland, offensive tackle out of BYU, with the 99th overall pick. A lot of ties to San Francisco here, which we'll uncover. Ji'Ayir Brown, the safety out of Penn State, to the Niners at 101. And look, I know this could be a luxury pick for the Niners, but given the uncertainty of Brandon Ayuk in the future, Marvin Mims at 102, very good value. The wide receiver, who is very, very productive out of Oklahoma, has some troubles with drops. Can he work on that at the next level? He certainly has the speed element to his game. Really does depend, too, on what they think of Danny Gray. As for Blake Freeland here, he has been working out this offseason with former Niner great Joe Staley. He said, dude, that was amazing. I've been watching Joe Staley play offensive tackle since I was a little kid. He's a beast. Being able to work with them, it was amazing. Coach Paul Alexander is a mastermind when it comes to the offensive tackle position. He's a legit guru. Alexander knows so many great techniques. He's taught us so many amazing offensive tackle things that are in the league right now. Combining his coaching experience with Staley's 13-year career, it was an invaluable resource for me. I learned so much from the two of them. And the Niners, if they're smart, they're doing intel on Blake Freeland because they can just reach out to Joe Staley for that. As for the scouting report on Blake Freeland, came to BYU as a quarterback / tight end. Goes to show you the athleticism that he possesses inside that body, then made the switch to offensive line. Good athlete with size that moves very well. Basketball player feet is how I summarized it a couple of days ago. Still raw with a thin frame that caused power and balance issues, but pretty solid getting out in space on some of those pull blocks, which are very, very important for San Francisco in this offense. Scouting profile from the Athletic's Dane Brugler: Freeland's inexperience and the lesser developed aspects of his game, leverage points, play strengths, will be exposed by NFL talent, but he has the feet, length, and upside to warrant being a mid-round draft pick. He is a work in process who should eventually compete for an NFL team's number 3 tackle spot. So he's not all that high on him. I'm higher on him than most. Very good athlete, like I said, and I think because of the length, the good feet, you can mold him over time. If you want to go Colton McKivitz, Matthew Pryor at starting right tackle in the meantime, Nick Zakelj, who you drafted last year, you could certainly do that. Sub 5 40-yard dash, pretty good athleticism right there. Did not test on the bench press, but a vertical leap of 37 inches at that size, pretty solid. As for Ji'Ayir Brown, you can play him deep, you can play him in the box, you can use him in a very versatile way, and he can have an impact on the game in a variety of ways. Really great ball skills and production, especially in 2022. He had a couple of sacks last year, had a couple of interceptions, forced fumbles. This is a guy who has a knack for making big plays. An effective blitzer who isn't afraid to hit. Love the physicality aspect to his game. Good instincts, but lack of athleticism could hurt him a little bit at the next level. I think that he can make up for that, though, with him being a very smart player. Here's what Brugler had to say about Ji'Ayir Brown: he must introduce more discipline and body control in his play, but he is a physical presence versus the run with the anticipation and ball skills to match up in coverage. He has the football character and skill set of an interchangeable starting safety at the next level. And given the versatility that he has and the versatility of Talanoa Hufanga, I would just be excited about the prospects of them teaming up in the future at both of those safety spots, because you can literally play them all across the field and they can play well against the run and against the pass. 40-yard dash 4.58. But Hufanga coming out of USC was not twitchy. He was not quick. He was just a good football player. And I see some similarities between those two. 18 reps at 225 pounds on the bench press, so he's pretty strong. Last year, this is what I care about: the production and the eye test. I thought he passed in both categories. 74 tackles, 7 tackles for loss. That's a great number for a safety. 4.5 sacks, also very good. 4 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. This guy is a dog, and Niner fans would really, really like him to get selected by San Francisco in the 3rd round. So those ball skills and that production, it intrigues me a lot, as well as the physicality and him being a smart player. Lastly, Marvin Mims, the luxury pick here for the Niners. Sometimes you just can't help yourself. Best player available on the board. You get a weapon that Kyle Shanahan can use as a toy, and Marvin Mims can be that guy. Big play threat who can track the ball very well downfield, brings early punt return value as well. So if you want to take some pressure off of Ray McCloud and switch things up, you can do that. Play strength isn't always there, which will cause concerns against press coverage, but is he going to get a lot of press coverage when he's playing alongside Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, at least for this year? The Athletic's Dane Brugler: he must prove himself against press man and expand his route running inventory with improved stem balance footwork, but his bread and butter will always be his field stretching speed and finishing skills to take the top off of the defense. He will add an explosive element to an NFL offense as a rotational rookie receiver and punt returner. Last year, really good numbers, more than 1,000 yards. Quarterback play there was really just okay. 54 catches, average yards per catch on 54 grabs, 20 yards. So that goes to show you, big playability for Marvin Mims. Maybe at some point down the road, he can be a very legit wide receiver 3, maybe round into a wide receiver 2, 6 touchdowns as well. So grade the mock: wide receiver, safety, tackle. 3 big needs here for this football team. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you think. Join us live on the 49ers Report tonight. It's going to be awesome.